behind me. Historically, the Attorney General's office trains police officers. But the threat today is so unbelievable, so pervasive, that we need to, frankly, extend that. The truth is that while we train first responders, the real first responders in these tragedies are teachers. They're the ones who were there. They're the ones who are going to make the life and death decisions. They're the ones who are going to do what they can do to save lives. By the time the first responders get there, we may have already a number of children killed. And that's just the fact, no matter how good the first responders are, no matter how fast they respond. So the first responders are the teachers and the administrators. And so it makes sense to be training them as well as law enforcement officers. As we had a discussion, we've all just met and had, I think, a very, very good discussion. One of the things that was brought up is they sometimes need to be trained together, because it's that synergistic relationship, that relationship between the local school district, the local teachers, the local principal, and the local police, the local sheriff's office, which frankly is vitally important. So we have partnered. We're partnering with all of the groups that I just announced and who are with me today for education, to reach out to schools and to teachers. We are expanding our school safety task force to not only to include more educators and also to include people in the mental health community. Because as we certainly know, and as I have stated time and time again, this is a mental health problem as much as it is anything else. We have our first course will be offered on January 17th. It's an active shooter for educators course, or maybe a better way of saying it is how you deal with an active shooter if you're an educator. The course focuses on identifying someone who might pose a problem, so it's a preventive course. It's also a course of what you do to get ready, how you practice the drill, and also what you do if the emergency does, in fact, occur. That is the first course. We anticipate having many, many courses. We anticipate tailoring these courses to the needs of the local school districts. We at OPATA, Bob Fiatal, who heads up OPATA, is here in the front row. We believe we have a pretty good understanding based on experience, based on what other people have done across the country about best practices in schools to try to minimize the loss of life. Having said that, no one is more of an expert about what goes on in that local school than the local teachers, the local principal, the local school board, and the pupils. So this is not going to be a situation where we come up with courses and say, come join us. We are going to involve teachers, educators in the development of these courses. We are a resource. The Attorney General's office is a resource to law enforcement. What we do every single day is serve local law enforcement. What we are saying today is for us to protect people in the state of Ohio, it makes eminent sense for the Attorney General's office also to reach out to educators, teachers, to people in the education community and provide them similar type training. But we can only do that while working very closely with law enforcement, very closely with education, and certainly partnering with the State Department of Education. This is a joint venture, whatever you want to call it. The courses that we will develop over time and how we deliver these courses jointly, together, working together, we will determine over time, and it will be evolving. just as these courses will evolve, just as our understanding of the threat and the crisis has also evolved over time. I would say that our working group and our courses will not only focus on the active shooter, but anything else that has to do with the safety of kids in the school, that has to do with someone who might come into that building and might do harm to those kids, or who might do harm to those kids at any other place in their school day, going to school or leaving the school grounds as well. Let me now introduce the